Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I am the Latino conservative. So, a couple things I wanted to talk about in this episode. One is credit. And I say credit because I know credit is important to a lot of people. Now, how does this correlate to be conservative? Now, one thing that I am for, besides being conservative, is I am for the people. Yes, I do believe we should have a smaller involvement in how the government actually distributes funds and such like that, but I do believe there should be some involvement. One of those involvements is credit. And I have dealt with credit probably more than the average person. And I say that because in the car business, I looked at credit every day. Anything from good credit to bad credit. And before I go on, I know there's going to be somebody out there that says, don't get credit, avoid it. To some extent, I can see how that would make sense. The average person, though, cannot afford to buy a car without financing it, let alone a house. Two key points that just about every American wants is a car and a house. You got to have a car for the most part to get a house. The way that works is if you don't have a car, chances are you have a hard time finding a decent job. Yeah, there's services like Uber, you can ride Metro and whatnot, but there's nothing like having a car. There's some trips in Houston where I can pay $50 or $60 just to drive in Houston using Uber. Not to mention, I could ride the bus, spend a couple dollars, but sometimes I would have to get off in a weird spot that I'm not comfortable with or that I'm unfamiliar with. I could mess with some people. So having a nice, reliable car is really and truly the best mode of transportation out there if you're having to drive any substantial distances. Let's not even get into people who have to commute out of town for their job. So credit is necessary to get a car for the most part. Necessary to get a house for the most part. Not everyone can afford, hardly anyone can afford a $125,000 house, $90,000 house for that fact. So why do I say credit? And I'm going to go a little further. I first mentioned this back in about June. And this was right around the time the presidential candidates on the Democratic Party were starting to make themselves known. So this plan that I had, I put it out there in June. Then I noticed right after that, Kamala Harris mentioned something pretty dang similar to what I was going to say. A little upset? Yeah. I've had that happen to me before where people took my ideas and ran with it and made it their own. But you know what? I posted it. I've got my timestamp on it, just like I'm going to have my timestamp on this. So a little more detail as to what I think credit should be more like. So of those of y'all watching this, how many of y'all have had your credit run to turn on electricity? Or how many of y'all have had credit run to get a phone, to rent an apartment, anything like that? Something that you're going to have to pay on a monthly cycle. Pretty much nowadays, you have to have your credit run for it. Insurance, automotive insurance, they run a credit check. Each time you get your credit checked, it affects your credit score. It drops your credit score. So what's my plan? My plan is anyone who checks your credit reports your credit. Kind of scary, I know. But you pay your light bill every month. If not, you get cut off. You pay your water every month. If not, you get cut off. You pay your rent every month. If not, you get evicted. Those companies, those rental agencies, they require a credit check. Otherwise, they won't let you in. And if your credit is what they consider low, then they will either deny you or they will charge you an outrageous deposit. I know of people who have tried to move into apartment complexes that offer this $99 move-in. Then at the bottom, you see those three little letters, WAC, with approved credit. So they apply. Next thing you know, they're paying a $700 deposit and the first month rent, another $700. So out of pocket, they were charged $1,400 on an advertisement of $99 total move-in with approved credit, though. Now, these people, they ended up getting that apartment. They liked the apartment. They just so happened to have enough to move in, but they also had to pay to get the lights turned on. Another credit check, $400 deposit for that, just to live with electricity. So altogether, out of pocket, they ended up paying $1,800, and they had 2 hard inquiries on their credit report. So their credit was dropped even further. Those agencies are not reporting good credit. They should. If they require you to have good credit to start their service at their advertised rates, if they require you to have good service to start service, period, they should report the good credit, because they're making their payments every single month. Otherwise, they get turned off. These same companies will also report bad credit. So if you fail to pay your electricity bill, or if you fail to pay your cell phone bill, they will report bad credit. Now, those reports will go to 3 agencies potentially: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And what'll happen there when you go buy a car? Not the dealerships. The dealerships will see it, but they don't make the call. The lending agencies will see that as well. They will then assign a rate, an APR, annual percentage rate, to say, basically, we're going to charge you this much to lend you money. I've seen those anywhere from 0% or 0.9% all the way up to 24% in the car business. The thing is, those banks, they will also make it harder on people who have maybe had something bad happen to them, or maybe the previous dealer that they went to didn't work up a deal that they wanted to, that they liked, but they pull their credit report. That gives them a hit. That drops the credit score. So now they give them a lower credit score. I've even had a company who I didn't give my social security number to give me a hard credit inquiry, which dropped my credit score. So there needs to be some reform on credit. People with lower credit scores get charged more, thereby making them pay more, making it harder for them to afford anything that they get on credit. Keeps them in that loop. I think there should be standardized rates. Not so much, everybody gets 0%, 0.9, 2 point whatever, but there needs to be more standardized rates. I don't think there should be anybody paying 24% on any type of loan because of maybe something bad that happened. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe they had some medical happen and they couldn't afford to pay it at the time. Medical, a lot of times, is unplanned. So yes, I think there should be something done about that. Next topic. It's a little sensitive right now, I know. Gun control. So one thing that's happened with gun control that is really big right now is in Virginia. Virginia has just come out with a new budget, HB 30, which also allows for $250,000 more when it comes to arrests and anything that has to do with detention. They did that in anticipation of people rebelling about the other law that they have about confiscations. You see, Virginia used to be a really pro-Second Amendment state. They're now really leaning towards the left. And I would say that they've actually gone far into the left. Now, yes, there's a difference in left and liberal, just so you know, and I'll talk about that in a different video, but they're going extreme left. So what they are doing is they're basically saying that they can take anybody's guns anytime that they want, which is totally against the Constitution. Now, I am for a checks and balances when it comes to gun control. For example, if someone's on any type of mental health medication, I don't think they should have access to guns, or they should be, if they have any guns in the house, they should be locked up. That would put somebody at risk. If they forget to take their medicines and then they go off a hinge, heaven forbid, I hate the way that sounds, but still, if someone's on any type of medications, they shouldn't have access to guns like that. Second, again, I really hate to sound like I'm politicizing this topic, but Texas just had a church shooting in White Settlement, which is near Fort Worth. The people in the church were armed because earlier in the year, Governor Greg Abbott passed a law allowing people to carry handguns and concealed weapons in places of worship. This is one where I'm going to go a little political on this one. At the same time, Joe Biden had also condemned or attacked Governor Greg Abbott because of that, saying that we shouldn't allow that we need to have stricter gun controls. And you know what? Had that rule not been in effect, the gunman who opened fire at the church probably would have taken out more people. You see, in Texas, we are pro Second Amendment. We understand that not only is a firearm needed for life, for food, but also to protect us from a tyrannical government. I think if something were to happen Civil War wise, might start in Virginia where people start trying to get their guns taken away. I mean, you already see tons of instances with the red flag rules where people are already dying because they don't want to give up their guns. There's no probable cause for these police or these forces to go and question the people about their guns in these red flag states. Just like what they did with the impeachment. Hey, I think Trump did this, so go put him away. Do it. It's a little short episode, but I wanted to get something out there and wish everyone a happy new year. So again, my name is Andrew Alvarez and I am the Latino Conservative. Hey guys, thanks again for listening. This is Andrew Alvarez, the Latino Conservative. I am your voice. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and share this post. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and sign up for alerts. Thank you again.